of the week mission brief. Hey, been thinking of a way, guys, to get the community involved in this. I created an email, NewMissionMotorsports@gmail.com. I will post that here on the channel or on the podcast. Send us your clips. If you've got any miraculous saves, any awesome wreck avoidances, anything like that, any funny moments, send it to New Mission Motorsports. Have your clip featured here on our podcast, like these clips that I'm going to post now. These are just clips of mine that I've posted. If you need a nice program, I recommend OBS Studio. It's an easy program to download. It's free. Record your clips, send them in, and have them featured. If you don't have clips or iRacing, by all means, send us some pictures of you and your family out at the racetrack, out with real cars. Anything you want in the racing community, join the chat. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Good morning, Marty and Jamie.
Good morning, Cord.
Morning.
So, Atlanta. What are your guys' first thoughts on that? I've got my opinions, but I'm curious. I'm seeing a lot of people out there with different opinions.
I just started watching the truck race last night. I didn't have time to. This weekend's just been busy with work, out of my norm schedule. But pack racing in Atlanta is interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. I, for one, love it. Like, a lot of people, that's one thing I don't understand. Maybe it's me, but I love the closeness of it. I love that everybody's battling for every single position. No more of this, first place takes the win. Sure, second place is like 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds behind. Like, I can understand having these little minuscule battles here and there, but everybody's battling now.
Yeah, it got really interesting whenever it was, coming to the end of stages, kind of like what we were doing on Friday night. Everybody hustling because everybody's so close that you're trying to hurry up and get those stage positions.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like, over the past few years have been complaining about stage racing. I love it. I understand people's mentality. Maybe do it like we do when we were doing triple threat Friday nights for the road course, where the stage ends, the top 5 get the points, or the top 10 in NASCAR, but for us it's top 5. And just keep going. Sure, maybe you could do something like that, but I love the fact that it's an incentive to keep running.
Yeah.
Keep racing, like you're racing for something. And I love the dude. Brad Keselowski has always been my favorite driver for a long time now. You can make fun of me if you want. I don't care. But I'll admit, when he won his championship, he was 1 lap down in 17th position, and that's no more. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand why people hate this.
I think
Yeah, it really got away from people, 3/4 of the race just on autopilot and racing the last 30 laps. That's what stage racing got rid of. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamie.
well, it's all good, Mark. It's I agree with that. I think that it's kind of stopped the lollygagging in the back. But there was a guy, I think he still races Indy cars. His name's Scott Dixon, and he's won a few championships in IndyCar, and he's done that strategically. So he'll, like, everybody will be racing, 230, 240 miles an hour, and he's off the back doing like 215, 220 the whole race. But he is on a completely different pitch strategy than everybody else, and he wins it on conserving fuel.
Yeah.
And I think that the stage races eliminated that kind of fuel saving mode, to where these dudes every 40, 50, 60 laps, they have to be in the top 10 to get some points, to be relevant.
Well, I feel like, too, now that you said that about strategy, it does take strategy, or at least adds to it as far as fuel goes, because a pit stop's coming. I mean, I guess I kind of like the idea of like how Triple Threat on Friday nights does it on road courses, where boom, there's the end of the stage, keep going, instead of you and getting that pit stop and calculating it in. It's like, oh, I can just do a splash and go here because I got a caution coming out in 5 laps. You still have to mathematically figure it out. Fortunately, I'm not bragging here, the win the other night was huge for this channel. I got that win for Talladega, and that was solely on help from teammates that were already laps down and fuel strategy. I went in just enough to actually finish the race, counting on and not having a caution, and we didn't. The other guy stayed out. There was a pack of 5 of them, 4 or 5, with 2 to go, I was 5th place and ended up taking the lead on the last lap, last turn. And I love strategy like that. It was very close. And yeah, I think these pit stops at the end of stages takes away from that a little bit.
Well, unless you get wrecked on pit lane, and then
Yeah, you had that this week, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I had that at Daytona twice on the same race. Got wrecked on pit lane.
I've had my teammates hit me on the entrance to pit lane during green flag stops.
I remember that. Not saying Humphrey or Wheeler.
Oh,
It was one of those two.
I love those guys though, but yeah, there's racing incidents that happen, and I believe that the stages kind of give more opportunity for pitting, right? And also it puts a lot on the pit crew, and the car chief, crew chief, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say if you can gain 4 or 5 positions on pit road just by strategy, and you know, that's huge. That's save tires, fuel, all that.
Yeah, and also give you an opportunity at positions too. You know, say you don't go in for that splash or whatever, or say you do that and you don't go in for the stage break. You know, you're trying to get that extra position. So I mean, it could go many different ways.
Yeah. No, I owe Hump and Wheeler a lot for the other night, because Hump, he wasn't even in the same class, but he wasn't competitive at the time with his class, and he pushed me for a good 5 to 10 laps. I mean, he's in a faster car, and it was like, dude, push me. It wasn't until he started getting caught by people behind him in his class that he was like, hey man, I got to break away. And I was like, dude, go. And I understood that. And then Wheeler, and I think it was you, Marty. I can't remember who was behind Wheeler, but we linked up. As we were coming out of the pits there, I went and slowed down early, let you guys catch up, and you guys pushed me the rest of the way just so I could stay competitive and keep knocking off time to the leaders. And we were catching them, but one of them stayed out trying to stretch it out for the end there, and he didn't quite make it. So
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. I was running the top line, trying to stay out of the stuff so I wouldn't finish last in my class. And then the whole field pulls up in front of me and decides to all crash each other into me.
You had some shit luck the other night. We all have them, dude. Like, I know you said something after the race, like, oh, I hate this league, but then you get to win. Yeah, no, there are some non-driving people in that league. And it is what it is. It's iRacing.
I haven't gotten to thank you, Marty, yet, but thank you for removing that guy from the Freaky Fast League. I sure wish you would have done it about a minute sooner.
I mean, I'm sorry. In GT3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that wasn't even me. That was Hump.
That was Hump.
Hump stopped and got rid of him. I was trying to do it while broadcasting, but Hump beat me to it.
That was like stuff like that before, and especially like you would think in like a league race or something that we all have an understanding, you know, like what are you doing? But anyway,
I fully believe like we should be able to handle anybody on iRacing should be able to handle it without doing those protests and stuff like that. We all have emotions. You should be able to show your displeasure, but not like that. I know what you're talking about. That was absolutely ridiculous. Get behind him and give him a shot in the rear or something. Not enough to dump him, but hey, let him know I wasn't happy. But no, that dude.
But whenever you dump someone that almost takes out leaders, you know, that's a whole different thing.
He did that right in front of Lucas and I.
Yeah.
And like I caught Lucas like 7 seconds in 5 laps. Like I was reeling him in. And because he burned up his tires and then he was conserving. And I had conserved and I was starting to eat mine up, you know, trying to get him.
Yeah.
And then those idiots did that right in front of us. Like, and then it bumped me, sent me off the track. I think I still got second. But
yeah,
like that's just frustrating. But it is iRacing, and I wish that like people could hold their cookies a little bit better.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with things nowadays. Everything's done virtually or on the internet, even Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. people can say or do what they want without fear of getting popped in the mouth.
Right.
I mean, you do that at a local track or an actual race, you're probably not walking out of there talking very well. I mean, the way that was.
It used to be that way. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure at Bowman Gray, it's still that way. You know, I'm sure,
Oh God.
you know, like in Concord, it's still that way, or Charlotte. But out here in California, if you even get aggressive, there's cops showing up to pull people out of the pits.
Oh yeah. I mean, nowadays everywhere you go, there's cops on standby waiting because
Right.
it happens. I mean,
Right.
you're dealing with people's livelihood, their money's involved, and if you do something stupid like that guy the other night, look, accidents happen. We all make mistakes. Like after the race, I had an incident with the guy, I can't remember his name, but we met up in the grievances, the hauler on Discord, and we hashed it out. It wasn't anything too big. I believed he should have backed off, given that he was 1 or 2 laps down to me, and I was catching the guys in front of me. They were 7.4, and I got them down to 1.9 seconds, and then he hit me going into the turn, and I'm like, dude, you're 2 laps down. But we hashed it out. We don't. I mean, I could have parked it and whooped his ass virtually, but that would be stupid. So
We need like a mode where it's like hockey fights, like the hockey games where like you throw a punch and then all of a sudden like you got different controls where you're like, you know, lighting each other up and stuff.
Like,
Never do that. And then like whoever loses loses points or something.
download stream and like, all right, you and you, Mortal Kombat, go. The loser
Yeah,
loses 2 championship points.
I think at the track,
Do what now?
those dirt tracks or something, like in person, like the 3/8 mile or whatever. What you should have is like a wrestling ring, like near pit road. And if you guys got a problem, you go step in the ring.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it
if
used
you
to be that way.
lose, if you lose, you lose race points.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to plenty of local tracks and seen fights happen. I mean, we've seen them on TV
Yeah.
with these bigger leagues too. I mean, it's just
I've finished races and like you know, going back through the pits and all that and about to pull up at my place and see people that I don't know. So I just
Yeah.
keep rolling. I like go to tech station or something like that. Just, I don't go back to our trailer.
Pop the clutch, put it back in second, and keep on
Yeah,
going.
like, going
I
back
see
on the
nothing.
track.
I see
We
nothing.
got something.
Sir, did you witness what was going? I saw nothing. Nope. I'm actually legally blind. I
You were
drive with a cane and a stick.
But yeah, like there's some funny stories like from when my dad was racing. My mom was pregnant and somebody was trying to fight with her for something that happened on the track, like a guy trying to fight my pregnant mom that was like 8 months pregnant for me, trying to fight her in the pits because somebody got smashed up on the track.
Good grief.
Rednecks at the short track, baby.
Well,
See,
you get-
that's why I raged from racing. Like that's what I learned in the womb, you know.
well, I mean, you start mixing alcohol and everything in there, then judgment goes all the way out the window. You get people iRacing that do the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to laugh one day. Like, I get into an official race, and there's this one guy, you can hear him sitting there lighting something. He's like, "Hold on, guys, I'll be there in a second. Got to hit this." And it's actually one that I recorded and I put it on YouTube. But like, there was 4 people I think in that one race, and they're all just like, "Dude, I am so fucked up right now." And I'm like, "This is great, man. Half the field's high."
And we're super careful and try to put our blinker on and shit.
Yeah, like I could not imagine doing this stoned or drunk or like, oh my god, sorry, dude. I forgot there was a turn there.
It's like, hey man, can you dim your lights? They're right in my mirrors.
Yeah, man, dude. Why you gotta flash your lights, bro? I'll move over, man. Shit.
Like, just chill out, man. I'll give you
Yeah.
a rip.
Like, dude, what are you talking about? We're in the truck series. They're stickers.
Yeah.
Must be lightning. It must be the new rain that they're putting in the game.
Dude, y'all see that purple dragon out of 2? Holy shit.
Oh, that's funny.
not weed. That's not
I know it's not weed.
We were at Wild West one time, and Lucas Gartman, we're racing and stuff. He's like, man, did y'all see that dinosaur? We're like, what are you talking about? A dinosaur? He's like, there's a dinosaur like on that like really long stretch. We're like, the Geico gecko? He's like, oh, is that what it is?
Well, we were at what is that, Lime Rock? You know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and there's another guy, I guess they put themselves in the sim as part of the
Yeah.
crowd. Well, they found it. And I think it's off of like one of the S turns going in there, if I remember correctly. But I go driving by for practice and there's like 6 cars sitting there facing the woods. And they're all looking at it. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, we found Junior. I'm like,
Was that the one like one of our old leagues, the old Road Rage League?
I
'Cause
think
I
that was
remember-
an official.
Oh, okay, because I remember one time you were there also when we were like in the Miatas or something.
Yeah.
And we were at Lime Rock and we were all sitting in the corner looking at a gnome.
Really?
And-
I don't remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and somebody had passed by and like, what are y'all doing? Because there's like 4 or 5 of us just like parked looking at a gnome.
That might have been it too. But I remember them saying they found Junior though. So it
Yeah,
might
we
not
were
have been
looking
the same.
for Junior.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the S's if I remember correctly. And from what I've heard is like once in a while when they do an update, they'll actually move him.
Oh, that's
Like
cool.
I think in Chicago now, the street circuit, I think he's on top of a building. Last I saw.
I think it
which,
was
yeah,
I
that
think it
helps.
was Tanya Fonseca. She had crashed or something. And she's like, hey, I found a gnome. And it's the gnome that they show the opening thing. So like we all went and investigated and we all started looking through the woods and stuff.
Just driving the car through the woods. Just a slight off track there.
Yeah. I wonder if you get more off tracks the like farther you go. Like instead of just getting like a 1X, you're like 5X.
You're just
like,
racking
out
up
into the
one-
woods.
Well, I get mad at like, and I guess iRacing has to do it just because you can't monitor everything. But like, you go through the grass or something to avoid a wreck, or you speed down the pit road because you're like, say, like Texas or Atlanta or something like that, where you're coming on the tri-oval, wreck happens in front of you, and you've got nowhere to go. It's either through the grass, in the wreck, or down pit road. So you drive down pit road, you're still at speed, you're trying to slow down, but now all of a sudden you got a black flag.
Yep.
I hate that. Like, I wish they could find a way to make it more circumstantial. Like, if there's a caution comes out, but you get a black flag for illegal pit entry, why does that not negate? I mean,
Because people would probably try and
cut
use it.
down.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I think. Like, if the caution comes out, there should be a way to, in the programming, it's like, okay, caution's out, they're going down pit road at this speed. Well, I guess, yeah, never mind. They could probably
Have you-
do that during the caution.
Have you ever seen Keith Fonseca take the pit lane at like 200?
No, but somebody else did that this week. I think it was, God, I might say be wrong again, but I think that was you, wasn't it?
Me?
Somebody was pushing behind me at Dega. I can't remember who it was, and they split
I
off.
wasn't even in practice that day.
Oh, no. I know who it was now. Never mind. No, yeah, this guy was pushing me. We were just drafting buddies. The next thing I know, he split off to go down pit road, and I was like, I didn't see him slowing down or anything. The car just jetted left, and there he went. And then all of a sudden, as I'm coming through the tri-oval, here he comes, still at speed out of the pits, and I was like, well, that's one way to make a pass. I mean, it was perfect.
That's what I was gonna say. So say, you see the crash happening in front of you, a caution's gonna come out. Somebody hurries up, takes pit lane full speed, and tries to beat the wreck basically to the start finish line. I mean,
Yeah.
you could jump a lot of positions that way.
You could. But I think when the caution comes out, your current position is where it locks you in at. And iRacing does a good job on that because then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let this guy by.
But what
you
if
go back.
what if you pass the crash at that point? Actually, I think the iRacing cautions go back to the last scoring point.
Do they?
Because that's why it's always so frustrating. Because you can pass someone, caution comes out, and it's like, okay, let the 2 vehicles behind you by. And I think it's because of the scoring loops. They're always one behind.
That makes sense. Sometimes it's a kicker because you're like, wait a minute, I was ahead of that guy. So I mean,
Yeah, it's like I keep passing this guy, and I got to keep letting him by.
I'm tired of getting blocked by slower cars and not actually getting past some people some days. Should be interesting.
That,
What we do?
that pissed me off on Friday. That pissed me off.
Oh, when they passed you and they wrecked.
No, watching the broadcast whenever we had those two Xfinity cars that were in front of all of the trucks,
Oh, that was ridiculous.
and he's literally going up and blocking the second line also, and then going back down to the bottom line and blocking second line. Like, you're not even there for position. You're racing only the person behind you. Like,
Yeah.
get out the way.
Well, the guy behind him, the 38, I was behind him, and I was too scared to even get close to his bumper because he was all over left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I'm like, dude, hold your line. Like, and if I tried to go up, he would come up and block. I go back down, and he's back up and down and up and down, and then it was just ridiculous. I mean,
Driving with a controller.
yeah, and blind. But I mean, that went for what, 15, 20 laps there, it felt like.
Yep. That was a whole stage until we pitted.
Yeah.
That was literally green flag drop until we pitted.
Yeah. And all the other Xfinity cars took off. And it's like, why are you guys sticking back here? They're like trying to avoid the big wreck, but yet about to cause one.
They're trying to avoid the big wreck, but then they're holding us up, like racing us. You're not racing us for any type of position.
Well, I mean, they dumped the power on the trucks, and it was
bad.
obvious. It was terrible. They did not have to do that.
They
were
reduced
running
power in the trucks.
They dropped it down 95% or to 95%.
Is that why you guys were only going like 174 miles an hour?
In the draft, I was lucky to get 174.
165 by yourself.
Yeah.
That's lame, dude. What are you doing?
Stupid. I even said something during the interview afterwards. They interviewed me for the win and everything, and they were like, "How was the truck handling tonight?" I was like, "Fine. It was slow as shit, but it was fine." And I told them, I was like, "We heard that they dumped the power, they dropped it down to 95%, and I feel like that was not necessary."
Right.
For as fast as those next gens were going, and they even dumped the power on the Xfinity as well, but they were still faster than the trucks. I was like, I don't think you had to do that.
If anything, give them more power. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally, well, they wanted to spread us
They were
out,
trying to divide them,
which they did. But for some reason at Talladega, I think we were going to be so spread out anyway. I know we had a rough one at Daytona, but I think that's because of how narrow Daytona was. And people make some dumbass moves, I'm telling you. There was a lot of them out there that night. But I don't.
When a caution would come out, it would take us literally a whole lap still at speed to catch the pace car.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, because I was watching Corey's stream,
Yeah.
And like the caution would come out and everybody's still pinned.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, these guys better freaking slow down, man. They're going to run the pace car over.
But you couldn't because it would take so long to get back up to speed.
Right.
And then you can only do 165. It's like you had an injured truck trying to catch up.
One of the cautions came out while I was passing the tri-oval, and I actually had the pace car in front of me now. I had to go around the pace car. It took 2 laps to catch the field. I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm pinned. I got a guy pushing me. We're under caution. And it's like, he's telling me to go. And I'm like, dude, I can't move my pedal any further.
Yeah.
Like, I was down.
She's to the flow.
Yeah, he's like,
and people were trying to pit, and they're like, hey, you need to get up here, and like yelling at us. And we're like, dude, like, I'm not injured and I've never lifted. Like, I'm going to get there.
I mean, somebody called out.
It's not my fault they gave me this truck.
Somebody called out race control on that during the thing because he said, he's like, hey guys, let's catch up. And it's like, you guys took our power. We are trying to catch up.
That was me. I was like, seriously, like, just to let you know, like, we can't get back, as quick as everybody wants us.
No, that was, I understand the thought. I guess we learned there, and hopefully they won't do it again, but people just need to learn how to drive better, honestly, and not do that because it was just ridiculous. I actually went in a closed pit. It ended up opening up, so thankfully I didn't get flagged, but by the time I had gotten there, the pit would close. So that was just,
it was definitely an interesting race.
It was
my worst race I've had in the league.
Well, I feel like I got fortunate, and then I don't know if you remember, but one of the cautions came out and I was up front as a truck, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. We only did like 4 laps. So I stayed out, and everybody's like, oh my God, you stayed out? I was like, yeah, that was probably a bad idea. but I think that worked in my favor in the end. So luckily, like I was sitting there praying, like I told him during the interview, I was like 5 laps to go or 2 laps to go. I was sitting in 5th. I was like, it's over. I'm not going to catch him. And then for everything to fall the way it did, I was like, whoo, maybe me not pitting at one time helped out. But I mean, the
What
trucks
else?
were
What
just
else?
ridiculous.
What else we got on the agenda? Because I'm reliving that Friday night and getting frustrated.
What are we racing tonight? Isn't there some racing tonight?
We
I
have
turned my
Freaky Fast
computer on, but-
Racing. We have Freaky
We're at
Fast Racing
Texas.
tonight at Texas.
Which hopefully I could get back. I don't want to miss.
Texas.
That's going to be interesting. I'm not even close to the playoffs there. I've missed too many races.
I mean, neither.
So,
Do you get like an automatic in if you win a race?
I don't think we have that.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, because
So-
if it was, then I would be in the playoffs on all my fucking leagues, but I missed too much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, this one technically in our time, I get off at 7, green flag drops at like 7:15. So hopefully my relief is here like
Oh shit.
well before so I could get home. If not, I'll just be laps down when I start.
We actually had that happen. Was that you? Oh no, I think it was another guy. He came in. He thought the race was at 8 or something, and he got there like, or he thought it started at 8:30, but it started at 8. It might have been the trucks. He joined in. He's like, "Hey, are you guys already racing, or is this practice?" And it's like, dude, we're like 15 laps in. Like, whoops.
Man,
Hey,
how
but-
do you get in?
I don't know. Somehow a setting or
Pre-reg-
something. Yeah, I probably had it pre-registry. Before we go on to our quick break here, let's talk about our new sponsor potentially coming in. Have we talked about that already?
Nope.
Okay, so still don't want to give the name yet. Been working on it. Last night they had me recreate a banner. It looks like we have the go-ahead. Still not confirmed yet, but the guy told me last night we should be good to go ahead and use their logo. Recreated a banner. So it looks like all subscriptions and donations might end up going to them. Looking at inviting them to our podcast. They can give out their mission statement and whatever they do. I don't want to put out too much here yet, but everything looks good to go there for our new sponsor, guys. We should be pretty much set. That's been a long work in progress. 3 weeks now. I've been talking to them, so hopefully that's good.
Are any of you guys in the Next Gen Cup Series?
And which next gen cup
Yeah, which
series?
That'd be JSP.
I am.
I have no idea. I mean, I'm
Because they're racing North Wilkesboro today.
Yeah, I don't get to make that one. We were racing it last Sunday, but something got messed up in the settings where caution laps weren't counting. So it was gonna take forever. Because I mean we were like 20 minutes in and had done like 6 laps. So
Wow.
they delayed it for today. So now I can't race it. But it was fun. North Wilkesboro in those cars, like you're basically letting it just kind of guide through the corner, and then it's just a straight out drag race down to the next one. Like you could hear the car sitting right outside your door, just like drag racing.
I don't even think I have that track yet.
That'd be fun because those are the tracks that I'm good at.
Yeah.
I love short tracks. Short tracks and super speedways. I'm not very, especially watching them. I'm not too big on the 1.5 miles. I don't even know if I have that. North Wilkesboro. Damn it, no, I don't even have that yet. Oh,
It's a
well.
throwback track, but it's dope.
Oh, I know, and I literally live about 2 hours from it, like in real life. Like, so I'd like to go see it if they open it back up, which I heard there are talks of it. I know they've been cleaning it up, but
They're slowly working on it.
I mean, from what I've seen, it looks awesome. So I know I
well-
enjoy it. What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I grew up around short tracks. I love watching short tracks, and now I live by Martinsville, so Martinsville's a blast to go to. If you guys ever get the chance, go. This year I'll be going to Charlotte, so for the
Take you to Charlotte.
Oh yeah, or not my uncle, Jesus, my father-in-law and I are going to the Charlotte Roval this October. Last
You
year,
have an uncle named Jesus?
huh?
What?
What'd you say?
You have an uncle named Jesus?
Jesus, yeah,
Oh,
little Hispanic guy.
yeah.
But anyway, we'll take a quick break here. We'll see you guys on the other side of this. Thank you again. Hey everybody, if you like what you're hearing right now, check out New Mission Motorsports on Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Check out their YouTube page, check out their Facebook page. We're everywhere. Also, if you're looking for a great racing league, check out Freaky Fast Racing, currently running Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, trucks and GT3s. Check us out, follow us, like, subscribe, show your friends. Hey, appreciate all your help. The only channel dedicated to helping veterans and their families. Thank you very much. Have a great day. So, Jamie, you want to discuss what we were just talking about there in the break?
Yeah. So, so I was living in Colorado Springs, and I was racing bicycles for Team USA, right? I was at the Olympic Center and stuff. And after I raced nationals in December of like, I think it was 2017 or 2018. I can't remember now. It's all been a blur. But I wanted to get a vasectomy. I was, like 30 years old, 29. Yeah, I was just gonna turn 30, I think. Can't remember. Anyways, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor, it's weird. You go to a urologist and they're like, well, why, first they're like, hey, nice. And you're like, this is weird.
Nice.
And,
That's not a name you want to, hey, that looks nice down there.
Yeah, I was like, wrong doctor. So, anyways, so he's like, are you sure you want to do this? Blase, blase. I'm like, yes, yes, I am very sure. And so then he's like, all right, we set an appointment. And he's like, here's 2 Valium. He's like, do not ingest THC and take these. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, whatever.
Of all people.
And, yeah, and so I go back to my I mean, I'm out of racing season, man. I can do whatever I want, right? So I got my buddy. I'll leave him nameless for this story, but he's legally blind, like actually is blind. And he rides on the back of a tandem bicycle, and he's like super fast, right? So anyways, I get an appointment at the Air Force Academy. I like face 2 blunts before I go to my vasectomy appointment.
After you were told not to. Yeah.
And then, I follow doctor's orders and I eat the Valium, right? And so I thought that they were going to put me under, like, and just do a little snip, snip and it'd be over. So they like gown me up and everything. My buddy's sitting in the waiting room with his sunglasses on and shit, and because he was my ride home. I had nobody else.
Blind guy. It's his ride home.
Yeah. Blind guy, you're giving you a ride home.
Yeah. And I had a brand new Subaru WRX, like 6-speed up in Colorado Springs, and he's just like driving by Braille. Anyways, it's like rumble strip, placard, it's like, but anyways, we get into the operating room. I'm laying on the table, and the nurse is like, she's like, you ready? I'm like, sure. So like they put my feet in these stirrups, right? And I can feel just the draft, right? I'm just out. And then in walks the doctor and like 3 nurses. And they're like, I have some students and we're gonna, they're gonna observe. And I'm just like, fuck. Like,
no way.
First thing I did, like, I'm so nervous, right? I'm like, I shaved it up all nice for you, doc, and fucking, and he's like, thanks, yay. And then like the Valium didn't kick in, right? Because I smoked too much before I went there because I was nervous. And then so he gave me a second Valium. And so I'm like laying there on the table, like half worked out, still scared. And so I'm holding like this old nurse's hand, I'm like, ooh, and then they do the thing. And then I smell like burnt flesh. I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're wrapping up,
Oh.
And then the doctor's like, all right, Mr. Krause, just flip your feet on over and walk on out. And I was like, what? Like, you guys are gonna give me like a chair or nothing, you know? And they're like, nope. So I swung my feet around to like stand up off the table, dude. And that's when the Valium socked me in the head. Like, I was like, ooh,
Now you messed up.
right. And they were like, you can't leave until you can walk out of here, you know? And like, so like laying on the table, and like my blind buddy like bounces in the room, you know? He's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm fucked up. And yeah. Then I was like down on the couch for 5 days with
See,
peas and frozen carrots.
I must have got off good, man. Not got off. That's a way to put it right now. But I must have made it out lucky because they actually put me under. You're the second person that I know of that I've actually talked to about this. That's like, oh yeah, man, I was awake. I could see the smoke. I could hear it. I could talk to. I'm like, dude, they put me the fuck out. I asked. They like, you want to go out? And I was like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, like feeling the tugging and everything. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the best decision of my life, though. I mean,
Mine too.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy. My wife is like,
I mean, as a guy, we've all been hit there, especially growing up. Like once in a while, we had a girl. Her name was Katie Otis, and all my friends, they probably hear that name now if they're listening to this and just cringing because you knew with her it was coming. She just loved to kick boys there for some reason.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, there's my daughter. Hey,
Morning.
Charlotte. I don't know where mommy is. Can you go? Well, that's my daughter, everybody. The youngest of them all. The one right before the vasectomy. But God, where was I going? Dang it. Anyway, she used to kick us there all the time. And to a point that we would just, as kids, we were like, hey, Katie's coming. And we would just all be like, oh, run. But never been hit there worse in my life. I had just gotten mine done. I think I was about 4 to 6 days out, somewhere in there. My 2-year-old daughter at the time, Abby, still in diapers. So I'm on the floor doing what I can to help change her and everything. And she had this thing where she used to like hike her legs up, kick her hips up, and just kick forward. And oh my God, she nailed me. Like, I'm still black and blue. And she nailed me. So I laid on the ground, trying not to throw up for like 20 minutes. I'm just laying there, and she's like naked, running around the house, laughing at me. And I'm like, I'm still getting beat up by little girls.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad.
You're laying there holding yourself. You're like, oh man, I was cool once.
Yeah. I was like, this is why I'm not having any more.
Yeah, in high school, like everybody knew, like I was like a magnet for getting hit there. Like somebody could like swing an arm and it would freaking hit me. And I got hit so much in high school that we literally didn't think I could have kids.
Oh,
like,
we had one guy that couldn't.
Legitimately.
We had one guy that couldn't. He got hit there. I think it was in sports though. I think he got hit with a bat. Oof. And it swelled his stuff so bad. He went to the doctor, and they're just like, it was like contortioned and torn or something like that. Oh, it was bad. Like he's like, yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. We had a guy we were growing up with. He got split open with a 2x4 that he ran over with a go-kart.
Ooh. Yep. Well, I've heard of people
just ripped the thing open.
I've heard of people getting snug on like fences and stuff, because you know, like people try to like, oh, I'm gonna hop this fence with one leap, and they got those little barbs on it or whatever, and it's like skewering a pig. Gotcha, done. It's like shit.
We had like kids that would, and I mean, it didn't happen often, right? But we had a couple that I went to school with that we were like all rode dirt bikes up in the woods in the forest, you know, and then you'd like fall and they'd get a peg, like a peg would get you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or like a clutch lever or something like that. Yeah.
Have y'all ever castrated a goat?
No.
Nope.
I don't.
One night we were
rubber bands.
One night we were drinking around a fire, and one of our buddies.
Alcohol involved, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a goat?
Yeah. One of the guys was like, hey, you ever castrated that goat? He's like, nah, man, I never had extra hands to do it. He's like, fuck it, let's do it. So
poor goat.
No, hold on, it gets worse.
He didn't even know.
We grab the goat, we do it and all that, and the guy was like holding, the testicles and all that, and the other goat grabs it and takes off with it. Grabs the entire thing, and he's running flying across the pasture, just with it bouncing in his mouth.
Okay, besides that, for those of you listening, this is actually a legitimate thing to do to help control the population of goats. It is safe for them. We aren't actually, they don't harm them as much. It's just the whole thing running with the testicles, though, that doesn't happen.
It's like a health thing for the goats. Like it's healthier for them because they have a lot of problems and they can get twisted and stuff like that. So
now, actually, this does transition into something else. Like, I hate to say it this way.
Yeah.
But into something else we were talking about there, the eating thing. Never, when you go to a different country, sometimes it's best not to ask what the hell you are eating. But I was on my first deployment in 2003, and they gave it the Iraqi police there gave us this food, and it smelled amazing, man. It was, and I mean, we're used to eating MREs. I mean, fuck yeah, it's good. They're like, oh yeah, it's cow. Like the rough current translation initially was like it's beef and beans and it had some spices and it was so delicious. Like I'm on my second plate of this stuff. One of our interpreters came over and he just like looks at it and we're all sitting there eating it and he starts talking to them and we're just like, he had this weird look on his face and we're like, what's up? He goes, I'm afraid to tell you guys because your culture is different. He's like, I'm afraid to tell you exactly what it is. And I'm like, we're all just sitting there like, what do you mean? He goes, well, it is cow. It is beef. But we're like sitting there and we're like, dude, what are we eating? And he's like, American word, testes? And we're like, we've been sitting there chowing down on this stuff. Man, it's good. It's fucking balls of cows and beans. Oh my god.
Mountain oyster.
Oh yeah. Mountain oysters here for them. I don't know what they say. It was Arabic, but like,
lunch.
Yeah. For them initially, it was just like, oh yeah, it's beef and beans with this broth and like just basically like a pork and beans, whatever type thing. But they had it so good. And now I hate to say that it was so good because it was freaking balls.
It's good. It's good. It's like, they always said growing up in high school, the burgers, like the soybean burgers were horse. I was like, hey man, it's some good horse.
Well, it makes you wonder, like with a lot of things, like who was the first person to want to eat an egg? Like, and just random stuff like that. It's like, wow, that chicken just pushed out this white thing out its ass. I'm gonna eat it.
Survival.
Yeah. But it's like you always find out, like my wife was talking about the other day, like who was the first person to try all these different spices and stuff? And then you get stuff like bay leaves, which is toxic and poisonous to people. So it's like, oh yeah, you have a family dinner over. Oh, Uncle Gerald just ate the leaf and he's dead. So let's not eat that. I mean, you got to find out somehow.
Yeah.
I would think that just not one person found out all those. I mean, it was probably some death and error.
Yeah. Trial and error.
Yeah. Old Click Clack has been fucking seizing on the floor over here for 30 minutes. Don't eat that orange thing.
Should we help him? No, he'll digest it. Oh, well, he's getting cold.
He's fucking possessed by the demon spirit that's sacrificed baboons. Like,
oh god. One of the weirdest things, like, and a lot of people look at me weird by this. My dad makes it, and I never would have thought it was good. I encourage people to try it because it's delicious. Y'all like grilled cheese?
Mm-hmm.
All right, make yourself a grilled cheese. Get it nice and toasty, not burnt, obviously. Get some grape jelly. Spread it across the top of that thing. I see that look. That look, but I tell you what, that is amazing. That's how I eat my grilled cheese now, man. Oh my god.
I don't like cheese.
Oh well, you're weird.
Like cheese is my dietary fiber. Like I have to have it with like every meal.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Can I tell you a funny story about cheese?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my grandpa was born in 1941 in Marks, Mississippi, right? He like picked cotton as a kid, like backwoods, right?
Yeah.
And so he tells me, we're sitting at the dinner table in his old twangy accent, and he's telling me about this guy that he would eat a brick of cheese every day with lunch. And the guy ended up having a heart attack and
I'd
died
say.
after he retired, right? But he forgot to add that the dude drank like a 30-pack of beer and smoked like 4 packs of cigarettes a day. And so he's like, yeah, man, you can't eat all that cheese. It'll kill you.
Yeah, not the other stuff though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
what I
other
was like.
stuff's fine, right?
I was like, Pa, dude, that dude was smoking Lucky Strikes for 30 years. Like, you don't think that those old tin Coors cans had a little something in them? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but the question is, was it the commodity cheese, like those big like brick
The
cheeses
brick?
from the government? Because if it is, yes, that's what killed them.
Yeah, shit.
Oh God, some cheeses out there nowadays, like I think it's Kraft. I think it's only like 10% cheese. Like they have to have like a minimum standard. Like you can have it, whatever it is, as long as it contains like 10% of actual cheese. So it's like, what the hell is this other
What's the
product
other
here?
90%? Gelatin?
Exactly. And I might be
It's like-
wrong on the 10%, but it's like no more than 50%. I know that. But it's like, what the hell are we eating? Like we just try to get sliced cheese now as far as like getting
Yeah.
it sliced off the block now. Like
Jamie, what's the worst thing you've eaten that's not cheese?
Oh, man.
my ex. Sorry, I had to.
After,
Oh my god!
after that, I'll never look at roast beef the same.
Oh,
See, I was gonna say the worst thing I've ever had was mayonnaise, and that can
oh
Yeah, dude.
God, I
that
hate
can be
mayo.
the same thing. I can't even smell it.
Nope.
Like tuna salad or like anything like chicken salad, nothing. Like it will make me puke.
I don't like oysters. And, like I'm not a big fan of seafood, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I've had to eat like when we were in Baghdad, I had to eat like a goat that they killed and like barbecued on a fucking shopping cart. That was pretty brutal.
Watching
You
them
know-
kill it. Oh,
Yeah. They killed everything.
yeah.
But yeah, it was that was pretty rough. And then like if you denied food, they would get like all pissed off and shit. And then next thing you know, everybody get fucking blown up on the side of the road. So you
Oh
just
yeah,
like
they'll start throwing shit at you.
Yeah, just eat it. You're like, didn't you just wipe your ass with your left hand and then like dip it into my food bowl and then put that rice on my plate?
Ah,
No, I mean
Nah.
that's Iraq. But never, they tell you before you go over there, do not shake with your left hand because the left hand is considered dirty, and that's why
Yeah.
because they don't have the hygiene products like we have here. They literally clean
They have
themselves.
like rocks.
Yeah, well, they clean themselves with water in their hand, left hand only, and then they clean themselves again in their hands with just water and soap because we forced them to use it. I mean, we ran a prison in 2005 in Mosul, and that's what we had to watch them. It was
Yeah.
gross.
life must be itchy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran a law enforcement academy. So we did like 9 months outside the wire, and then we did 3 months like training the Iraqi police and Iraqi army. And those dudes, man, we had like one porta shitter and like 8 rolls of toilet paper in there, right?
Yeah.
And then like 2 or 3 days would go by and they'd all be hitting the shitter, right? And then you come back and like you have to hit the shitter and you go in there, it's just like a whole bunch of half empty water bottles and like the toilet paper is like still wrapped.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck.
Nobody's using
And,
it.
yeah, and then they used to do that shit on an airplane too.
Yep.
So like
Oh,
when I was flying Raven missions, we would like the aircraft commander would be like, "You fuckers ain't using the toilet." Like,
No.
it cost us 30 grand to get the lav cleaned when we land. So no.
Well,
Yeah.
Jesus.
in my last deployment in 2010-11, we were in Afghanistan, and we were training the ABP, the Afghan Border Patrol.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of them with us they had their own compound attached to ours, but they actually had shower trailers at this time because it had been many years. We're no longer showering in a ditch with a bucket.
Yay.
Yeah, God, I remember those days too. But we had shower trailers that were built for showers. All you had to do was hook up a water supply, and they were nice. Well, we had commingling time pretty much where anybody could shower that was male or female, not at the same time, of course, males and females. So we would
That's
have
what
Afghan.
commingling was.
Well, I'm talking like services here, like Americans with Afghans, like you
I was
can
about
go
to
in
say,
and-
man, break out the tiger sauce and go at it.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
I only got like a quarter bottle left. I got to order me a fucking case if we're
That
gonna have
took a
shower
turn.
boys.
You ready for a spicy night, babe? But anyway,
It's sweet heat.
we ended up having to like split us up between services. Like, all right, now Americans' time, now's the Afghans' time, and then finally we ended up kicking the Afghans out because they were taking showers, but they were using the shower stalls that we used to piss and shit. Like, being in the shower is one thing; it goes down the drain, but the shit wasn't. Like, we'd go in for our time to shower, and there would be human crap in the showers.
They didn't even try to waffle stomp it.
No,
Oh,
no, they would leave it.
Oh,
They would leave it,
that's
and
what
thankfully,
the old guys do at the gym.
yeah. Oh my god.
it's the city's problem now.
Oh man. No, but they would like. Thankfully, the locals are the one that clean it too. It's like, no, you motherfucker, you guys are getting in there and cleaning that crap like that.
Dude,
No,
we had the Ugandans.
oh, we didn't deal with them.
Dude, the Ugandans, those dudes were cool as fuck.
Really?
They were just, yeah, man, they were out there with like AK-47s, just like doing like patrol, you know, like TCNs, just like security basically. And like for like the chow halls or whatever, wherever they were going, they were security, dude. And they were cool as fuck. Be like, Jumbo, and they're like, Jumbo. It's like the only sign of like kindness and shit was the Ugandans. That was fun. Sorry about the tangent, but like,
No, I mean,
I
No,
remember like a whole bunch of dirty ass people when we were over there, and the Ugandans were always like clean, and like their uniforms were always fucked up because nobody ever gave them the right stuff. But you know, they were like proud to have it. You know, it was cool.
it was interesting working with like different services and stuff because I've worked with Thailand in Iraq. We've had Polish, Ukrainians we've worked with, British, Australians, but the Australians going over on deployment, general order number 1, no alcohol, no sex, obviously. So like men and women we couldn't sleep in the same area. We couldn't shower at the same time. Obviously, this seems like normal for us as Americans. But me and a buddy of mine had to go to a Australian supply area, and it was part of their army. And we're like 4 or 5 months in, and we haven't seen a girl in a while. I mean, in uniform, of course, yeah, sure, but that's one thing. So the guy's like, hey man, I gotta go to my hooch area here, my tent, and I get the keys or whatever. So he's like, come with me, whatever. And we go walking in, and talk about awkward. We go in there, and there's this girl laying in a bed reading, and she starts talking to us, just in her bra and panties, and I'm just like, it's been 5 months, man.
And that's why. And that's why we have problems and deviance, is because we restrict all that shit.
Like, they're just sitting there talking to us like normal. Like, next to her is a dude just laying there in his bed. It's like they're just chilling, hanging out, comfortable. And it's like, we can't do this. I mean, not to get disgusting here, but General Order number 1 also covered the pornography clause, and we were not allowed to have that. Well, most people didn't care. Like, whatever. But my second deployment, they hit down on that, and they confiscated any of your stuff that you had, and we had to have a burn party. We burned it. That was like, I think 7 months or 8 months into the tour. I was like, what the fuck, man? No, that sucked. And then my last deployment, we had a squad leader. He was a very religious guy. No offense to him or nothing. No offense to religion, whatever. But a group of people from the States actually put together a care package that had like DVDs and magazines and da-da-da-da-da. I'm sorry, you're in the middle of nowhere. Why not, you know? And he got a hold of it, and he burned it. He's like, we're not allowed to have this. You guys aren't going to have it. And you want to talk about one hated dude. to a point that he actually got, and I hate to say it, he got relieved of his post because he had such a bad relationship with his soldiers. And I was like, I think that was a tipping point. Like, seriously, like, oh my God. Just torched an entire big box of all that stuff, which, I mean, yeah, pornography is probably not the best thing for society, or it's whatever, but you're talking about dudes that are deployed for a year. Even women. Female soldiers have feelings.
I'm not going to say it was on purpose, but there was a captain that wasn't the nicest guy in the world. And on our deployment, right when we were getting ready to head home, somebody like ran over his leg with a Humvee.
God dang.
Oh shit.
And then we called him Captain Crunch for like the last 2 weeks.
Oh shit. Boy, I bet he loved you guys.
Fucking took an 1151, like rolled over his heel and broke his like shin and femur and shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What's happening, Captain?
Yeah.
Captain Crunch. Well, we had oh man. This just reminded me of it. My last deployment, we were talking about vasectomies. This guy accidentally gave himself one. It was an Afghan Border Patrol guy. We just taught him how to clean their weapons. And he was cleaning the bolt area from underneath the magazine well. But he had the barrel of it resting on a chair that he was sitting on while there was a round in it. And he lost both of his.
Oh my God.
Discouraged breeding there. But yeah, it was bad. Like, we had our medics there. We were there. We were sitting there trying to be professional and laughing quietly amongst ourselves. But yeah, he lost everything because of that.
Well, since we're already on a not safe for work episode, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't.
When I was working patrol at the sheriff's office I worked for, we got a call saying that there was an emergency in the jail. And what had happened is one of the inmates, and this is just like a parish lockup, like it's not even a big area, it's just dorms and stuff. A guy gave himself a vasectomy so he would get out of there and be able to go to the hospital. Yep. Took a piece of metal that he kept shivving down and just sliced himself right open.
Jesus.
Yep.
Did I ever tell you about the guys with the faucet while I was working duty?
Guys with the faucet?
Or just it's one guy with a faucet. Did I ever tell you about that?
I've seen his videos of women with faucets, but
no, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh God. So again, this is not safe for work. Those of you listening, I appreciate you guys hanging around. Don't unsubscribe. Keep with us. But here,
I apologize.
This might not have been the one that we wanted for the sponsor.
They're military. They're probably getting a laugh out of this too. Hopefully, they're getting a laugh out of this. 2006, I want to say, and hopefully this guy's not listening. But I was sitting there. I was working traffic. I was a traffic investigator at a military installation. Maybe that'll help keep it from getting narrowed down there. But I was at a specific installation, and we got a phone call from a young girl. Said they needed help at their house. Her daddy's stuck. And what the hell you mean, daddy's stuck? And this is a call that I'm not supposed to normally go to, but she said there was blood, there is injury. And I was traffic, and I was in the area though, closer than anybody else. So I was like, hey, 7-1, I can respond. Because I mean, I still have medical training.
Yeah.
The girl meets me at the door, other officers show up, and we go in, and there's daddy in the shower, lubed up and inserted into the faucet of the bathtub.
Oh.
It's one of those like
curve to that though.
And that's the problem. It had a curve to it.
Curve?
But it's not smooth inside. So when he went to pull out a bit, the burr inside caught him. Oh!
What the
fuck? So we're sitting there, we're like, oh my God, fire department came, ambulance came, but we couldn't get him out. We had MPI.
Balls all the faucet off.
Well, that's where things got interesting. That's where things got interesting. We had MPI take the little girl first. I mean, they work with juveniles. That was their job, part of it. But we had to call DPW. waterworks. Come out there, that shut off the water to the house. The wall had to be cut. The faucet and piping and everything had to be cut with it. And
Man, there's much cheaper ways.
yeah, so now, well, they cut it all out and everything. I mean, this is just a bunch of firefighters and DPW get to just sit there and cut things open now at this point. So I go to my patrol car, right? I got a little F-150 with sirens and everything. And I was like, hey, give me a call when you guys are coming out. As they're coming out, it was like, hey, we're coming out now. He's on the gurney with a blanket and this piping and everything still attached. I accidentally hit my siren and it wouldn't turn off. So everybody's coming outside like, what the hell? And here's this dude on a gurney with this like 2-foot pipe attached to him still just coming out. Oh, it was bad. Makes you wonder what people do. Like, what is wrong with us?
Seems like after like 5 minutes, you could have just waited it out and be okay.
No, he was.
You would think that there would be breathing exercises or something that could get you off there.
He was hooked pretty bad from what I understood, because I didn't have the case because again I was traffic and somebody else took it, and I was like, how bad was it? And they're like, they had to like put him under, cut the pipe in half, and it like buried itself in him, hooked him, and like there was no getting him out. They had to like literally cut it piece by piece apparently. And
it's like, oh look, this guy's coming out with a pipe attached to him.
Well, it's funny too.
That's a plumbing incident.
Because he wasn't the service member, his wife was. So he was like a stay-at-home dad. And yeah, no, we had to call his wife's unit to have his wife released to come get her.
Did you hear the siren with it though?
Oh.
Pick up the siren?
Which siren? They're talking about like my siren? Oh, we're losing Marty.
One. I was like, so look, the guy comes out with a pipe.
Thought we were losing you there for a second. No, I accidentally I had it on. I didn't do the whoop whoop. I was like, just let it keep going. I was like, oh shit. I sitting there like, I'll get to the button. Hang on, moving slowly.
At me like, man, why does this guy keep hitting the siren? Like trying to tee off.
If you want to know the story behind why I hit the siren,
it's okay.
Yeah. New Mission Motorsports mission brief. Check us out.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
We talk about balls.
Yeah, this is definitely a not safe for work episode, but hey, you know what?
We'll definitely have to tag it.
Yeah, I will put that on the tag. Not safe for work. But you know what? We're all adults. I hope, you know, if you don't like it, please just don't listen.
This is another one.
Well, I think our third episode was, I think I titled it, Can Kids Listen to This? Because that's something that you said, Marty. You're like, I don't think kids can listen to this.
Caden was on the broadcast the other night for the GT3s. Like he was sitting next to me, like talking and stuff. And he's like, hey, when do y'all do the podcast? I was like, on Sundays. He's like, okay, I'll join for that too. I was like, whoa, wait, we didn't even offer you. Like,
wait a minute, who is this?
Don't just show up. Caden, my son.
Oh,
I
don't care.
He was doing the broadcast with me because it was just me. So I was like teaching him some stuff about racing and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's like, okay, well, I'll be there on Sunday. He's like, I'll be a part of the podcast too. Like,
he can join. At this point, I mean, it's been the three of us. It's been a great time. I've enjoyed it. I love Sundays doing this with you guys. We had 5 people that were supposed to join, and it's just been us. And next week, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a podcast because I will be gone. I will send some video from Charlotte. We are going to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where I get to drive a Mustang 500 around the track and get some actual training on how to drive, which apparently I need.
A lot of.
Yeah, shut up.
What?
I survive more than you do.
It'll still be a Mustang.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go searching for the crowds and start hitting people.
Make sure everybody's behind pit wall when you fire that fucker up.
Yeah.
You know all those videos of the Mustangs like crashing within like the first 50 feet?
That'll be me. Like, man, I got iRacing. I can do this. Ah, fuck.
He's like,
where's the reset button?
Simulator.
My wife bought the insurance just in case.
You should look the dude dead in the face when they're like strapping you in and shit, just be like, how many fast repairs do I got?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she ain't just gonna magically reappear when you fucking wall it. So
Dude, it's
I
gonna
can
be
see
fun.
him
though.
now, like, you know, going through the briefing and stuff. It's like, okay, well, this is how you go through your shifts. It's like, I got it. I'm an iRacer.
yeah,
I've done it on the sim.
yeah.
Well, the bad part is, unfortunately, for this, all the cars they have automatic.
Oh,
So it eliminates that, which I understand because to society today, nobody knows how to drive a manual. I do. I mean,
Yeah.
check out my purple Jeep, asshole.
I was
With
about to
its
say,
angry eyebrows. Angry eyebrows.
Yeah. But I mean, society nowadays, nobody really knows how to do it. So,
I know it's like the biggest anti-theft system there is.
oh yeah, I mean, I've gone to. There's actually a valet service up here at one of the hospitals that says no manual cars. And I was like, really? And then I had to go to another hospital a couple months ago for one of my kids up in Charlottesville, and they had one dude that said he knew how to drive a manual. But man, I could hear that thing. It's like, yeah, great. There goes my clutch. There goes my slave cylinder. There goes. Oh my god.
There goes everything.
There. Goes,
There goes my hero.
yeah. There goes my purple Jeep.
Look
Anyway.
like a fucking hamburglar.
Anyway, I think it's time for us to wrap up, guys. So next week, I'm sorry we're not going to have a podcast, but I will be sending out those invites to you guys, and I think I'm just going to keep it us.
Okay.
Thank you guys for joining me again. Thank you everybody for listening. We are still working on that sponsor deal, which it looks like it is going through for sure now. Got a new logo put out and not actually going to display it yet. Wait till everything's set in stone. We got to do some editing there, but thank y'all for listening. Hope you enjoyed the interesting chat we had today. don't share this with people, but don't do this at work.
Yeah, you don't want too many people listening to Larry Moe and Curly over here.
Yeah, iRacing and testicles in one day. That's great. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your week. We'll talk to you later.